Right, so hello everyone and welcome to my 2018 Formula One Grand Prix season opener. Now in this video what I'll be doing is having a look at the F1.com website and just having a look at which drivers are driving for which teams and when the races will be, and I'll give my opinion on who I think will win the championship, and then we'll go into the predictions for the Australian Grand Prix. Okay, so I'm not too sure if you had a look at that last couple of slides. There was one that says 4 days remaining, and that is 4 days remaining till Melbourne. Okay, so let's have a look. Okay, so there's a lovely F1 website with the new logo. I'm not too sure if I like it or not at the moment. Okay, so look, there's a calendar there. So we've got the Australian Grand Prix on the 25th of March, the Bahrain Grand Prix on the 8th of April, the Chinese Grand Prix on the 15th of April, and we have the Azerbaijan Grand Prix on the 29th of April, and the Spanish Grand Prix we have on the 13th of May. And then we head over to Monaco for the Monaco Grand Prix on the 27th of May. And then, now this is strange, we fly all the way over to Canada on the 10th of June for the Canadian Grand Prix. Then we fly back to Europe to the French Grand Prix on the 24th of June. Now, the French Grand Prix hasn't been running for a while, and it's good to have it back, and hopefully it will be a good one. And then we go from France to Austria on the 1st of July. And then we go to the UK for the British Grand Prix on the 8th of July. We head over to Germany on the 22nd of July for the German Grand Prix. And we go over to Hungary for, I think is this the European Grand Prix? This is the Magyar Nagy 2018, yeah? So we go to the Hungarian Grand Prix, let's just call it that, on the 29th of July. And then the only race we have in August is the Belgian Grand Prix, and that's the 26th of August. And then from there we go to Italy, and we go to the Italian Grand Prix on the 2nd of September. And then on the 16th of September we go to Singapore for the Singapore Grand Prix. Then from Singapore we go to Russia on the 30th of September. Now Russia's been moved way back, and I think this is a good spot for it, to be fair, and hopefully it will have more exciting races towards the end of the calendar. Right, then from Russia we go to Japan on the 7th of October. And then from there we fly over to the United States of America on the 21st of October for the United States Grand Prix. And then we go over to Mexico on the 28th of October for the Mexican Grand Prix. And then staying on that side of the world, we head over to Brazil for the Brazilian Grand Prix on the 11th of November. And we end on the most boring race of them all, the Abu Dhabi Grand Prix in Abu Dhabi, held on the 25th of November. So one whole month before Christmas. Okay, so that's the calendar sorted. Let's see who's driving. Okay, so the top drivers, we have Lewis Hamilton and Sebastian Vettel. Now don't get excited, they're not in the same team. For some reason, they put them side by side instead of, well, they put them side by side when they shouldn't be. Valtteri Bottas should be there, so Lewis is obviously still with Mercedes, and he loves the fact that Valtteri Bottas is still with Mercedes, and he can really do some damage this year. He can actually win the 5-time Drivers' Championship, and Mercedes, if they are still true to their form, they will no doubt take 5th or 5 construction championships in a row, and I think that's where it's heading. There will be some challenges, some unexpected challenges, so hopefully they can show us a really good time this year. So this driver lineup hasn't changed. Has Ferrari's driver lineup changed? Nope. Kimi won't retire. Doesn't look like he's going to retire anytime soon, which is a shame because he's not letting any other drivers come through. I guess it's not his fault, it's what Ferrari want. So yeah, it's Ferrari's fault, I guess. But last year Ferrari came really, really, really close, and to the point where they were threatening. Sebastian did a good job, as did Kimi, but you could see the performance enhancements that were gained in the previous year in 2017. Alright, so now we go to Daniel Ricciardo and Max Verstappen for Red Bull Racing. Now this hasn't changed much. I think this year Daniel Ricciardo needs to really stamp out Max Verstappen if he wants to keep that seat and wants to challenge for championships, because at the moment what has been happening is that he's just backed off a bit, and you could see that the car hasn't been all the way there, but he has actually outqualified his teammate, I think, a couple of times, and he finished 5th in the Drivers' Championship over his teammate, which you can actually see here, I think. Is this the Drivers' Championship? Yeah. So that's how they pretty much finished. Okay, so we move over to Force India, and Sergio and Esteban Ocon, I think they're going to still be fighting each other. They do a good job, and it's a team that pushes way above its weight. and it's good to see them do that. So I think, well, I would hope they have a strong season this year, especially Sergio. He needs that extra boost in confidence so he can then try to get back into a better team. Right, okay, so now we have the Renault team, which consists of Carlos Sainz and Nico Hulkenberg. Now, Carlos Sainz actually jumped ship halfway through, and he did part of the year as a Renault driver. So this year it will be his full Renault um, stint in Formula One. And these guys, I'm not too sure what's going to happen, to be fair. Nico Hulkenberg just feels like he's settling in for a nice car journey at 30 miles an hour on the motorway. He doesn't really fight for like championship glory. He does in terms of overtakes and what have you, but he needs to fight for getting into a bigger team, and he doesn't do that. And I think he's happy where he is, but he shouldn't, because he's a really good driver and he needs to find his place somewhere. Okay, so let's move on to Lance Stroll for Williams, and no, Roman Grosjean is not his teammate. Where's his teammate? Who's his teammate? Forget where's his teammate. Ah, there you go. So he's got a rookie. So his rookie is Sergei Sirotkin, and yeah, that's going to be interesting. Gone is Felipe Massa for the second time. You never know, he might come back if Sirotkin doesn't do well. Yeah, so Williams are on a bit of a weird turn. They seem to be going backwards. So let's hope that they do something really good this year. Let's talk about Haas. Okay, so we've got Roman Grosjean and Kevin Magnussen, K-Mag, and the Grosjean. Okay, I was trying to make something funny there, but it wasn't going to work. These two guys are really good drivers. They are on the edge of your seat drivers, and what seems to be happening with Haas is that they're a company that have come along buying parts of other companies and making a car out of it, and it's not the way that normal Formula One does things. But now I think it's their third season. Correct me if I'm wrong in the comments, but I think it's their third season now in 2018, and I think this is the year that they are going to shine. Mercedes have come out and said pretty much the same thing as well, and those guys are going to be the ones that I watch this year. Right, let's move over to the mess that is McLaren. Okay, so we've got Fernando Alonso and we've got Stoffel Van Dorn. It's a good team. I'm not too sure about Van Dorn, to be fair. But Fernando does everything he needs to do, and the car last year was no good. This year, they have a completely different engine. They have a Renault engine. So we'll see how good the Renault engine is. And yeah, I'll be keeping an eye on Fernando's career, because it might be his last actual season in Formula One. He came out earlier in the week to say 17 was going to be my last. And that's what he was thinking about anyway, making it his last. But he thought better of it, and now we've got him for 2018, which is good. So the next team we're looking at is Sauber. And we've got Marcus Ericsson and, no, not Pierre Gasly. We've got Charles Leclerc. Okay, so what can I say about Sauber? They're going backwards and backwards to the point where there's no hope for them, to be fair. But now they've got Alfa Romeo on board, and it's creating a bit of a buzz in the paddock. Excuse me. So now that they've got Alfa Romeo on board, they're creating a bit of a buzz in the paddock, and hopefully Alfa Romeo can show what they can do to help up Sauber, and Sauber can show everyone that they are a decent team and they can go back to their winning ways. So hopefully, looking forward to that. Glad Marcus Ericsson is there to help out. I'm not too sure about the new boy, but yeah, this is the year of the new boys because we've got, where's he gone? I can't find him. Okay, so we've got 1, 2, 3, 4 new boys. It's going to be an interesting season. Some of them are in decent cars, some of them are in bad cars. Okay, so let's move over to Toro Rosso. So Toro Rosso has now Pierre Gasly and Brendan Hartley. Not too sure about either of these, to be fair, and I don't really see them having much of an impact now that they've got a Honda engine. I just see them going backwards. So hopefully they can do something in their rookie years. And that's it for the drivers. And normally I would create a completely new video for my predictions for the Melbourne Grand Prix. But I am actually going to now do my predictions. Right, so my predictions for the Australian Grand Prix. Right, so I think this is going to be a fairly straightforward race where we will get Lewis first, Sebastian Vettel second, and Valtteri Bottas third. 10th will be Carlos Sainz, and the first person to go out would be Kevin Magnussen. So I hope you guys watch the race. I know I'm going to try and watch the race. So please like and subscribe to my channel if you want to see more videos about Formula 1. I do a lot of videos for various different things, and Formula 1 is one of them. Please go back and have a look at some of my other Formula 1 videos. I have a playlist on my channel. If you can check that out, that would be really good. And I will see you next time. Thank you.